Hey guys, this is North back again with another video. Today's video, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of the purchases that I have made for the first quarter of 2023. I'm just making this quick video really quick just to just put out there the purchases that I make. So I went a little bit crazy the first quarter of the year, and after that I plan on definitely not purchasing as much for the rest of the year, at least until I go on a holiday vacation over the summertime. Hopefully I can pick up some gems then. So let's go ahead and see what I got so far. Now I'm just going to go through them pretty quick. I'm not going to speak too much about the fragrance itself. I'm just going to go through it. The first one I want to mention is one that I picked up. It's one of my favorite fragrances. It's one of the fragrances that I believe that the hype on it is real, and I'm a believer, and that one is Mitsouko Eau de Parfum. So this one I picked up a vintage batch of it. This one was actually came out, and this one was released in 2002. So I have I believe a 2009 batch as well. So I just put the little sticker on here just to remind myself. And this particular one, you know, Mitsouko is a Chypre fruity. And with that being said, this particular one, this older version, is a lot deeper. The color is a lot darker than the 2009 version. Next up, the next one is from the House of Guerlain. Hopefully for the rest, I'll try to just at least take them out of the box. Most of the fragrances that I buy now, I keep them in the box just in the case I might want to resell it or something like that. I got in the habit of throwing the boxes away before, and now I've been trying to get rid of more than half of my collection, so I just started to keep the boxes just in case. The next one is from the House of Guerlain, and this one is Liu, not to be confused with Louis. And this is the Eau de Parfum concentration. I did do a brief review on it. I was able to get this from the, I believe, Bloomingdale's in Dubai, so I had it shipped here. This one seems to be one that might be a little bit harder to find, but it's a brand new like release. I believe it came out in 2019, but the original was, you know, in the early 1900s. But I love this one. It's a super aldehydic fragrance. Let's keep it moving. The next fragrance again is from the House of Guerlain, and this is Bois d'Harmonie. This was one I talked about in the 3 best benzoin fragrances video that I did. This is the 200 ml tester bottle. So I was happy I was able to get this for one of my guys. With these Guerlains, they aren't super beast mode or projecting fragrances. They sit kind of close to the skin, but they're beautiful fragrances. So I was happy I was able to get this one for basically the price of the 100 ml. The next fragrance is from the House of Dior. This is a discontinued gem that I was able to finally track down, and this is Dior Homme, the 2005 with the silver stem version. I talked about this briefly in my top 15 discontinued fragrances. The next fragrance was from the House of Robert Piquet, and this one is Bandit. Bandit, I was able to find a 50 ml of this. This one seems to be, it's not discontinued. This is not a vintage batch. I believe this one was, this formulation is from 2019. And with this one, it's a super oakmoss Chypre floral fragrance. It's very, to me, I believe it's a woman's fragrance, but it's one of those kind of masculine. For me, it reminds me of Anateus, but it's not, it doesn't smell similar. I'd have to try them side by side. I don't own Anateus, but it puts me in that particular space when I smell it. But I wanted to pick it up. It seems to be sold out a lot, which is what I wanted to say, even though it's not discontinued. Keep it moving. The next fragrance is from the House of Grossmith London. This is my first one from the house. I did want to get Golden Chypre, but instead I picked up this one, and this is Hasu no Hana. So this one I was kind of stuck in between wanting to get like this 10 ml Parfum or getting the 50 ml Eau de Parfum, so I just opted for this. This is another Chypre floral, and I plan on doing a review of it later on. I just actually unboxed it, so I haven't even really had a chance to fully wear it. Moving on. The next fragrance is from the House of Nicolai, and this one is New York Intense. I didn't take it out of the box, but New York Intense, I was able to find a 50 ml locally, so I was happy to pick that up. And you have it in my collection. It's not classified as a Chypre, but it's sort of like a Chypre fragrance. Moving on. The next fragrance is from the house of MDCI, and this is Cuir Cavalier. This was one I wanted to get, but locally they sold out of it once they started doing like a 50% off deal. But as I said in one of my previous videos, Cuir Cavalier is being sold for the same price as the ones with the bust, and you know those are about $100 more expensive than the regular ones, so I kind of wasn't going for that. I was able to pick this one up, I believe, on Lucky Set. Moving on. The next fragrance I had been wanting to pick up on for a while because people were talking about it, and I told myself I just exclusively wanted to check out the women's line of Amouage, and this is Lyric Woman, but this is the Extrait de Parfum. This is a newer formulation with the magnetic cap, and this one is a nice sweet resinous rose fragrance. Let's keep it moving. The next fragrance I picked up was from the same place, and this is from the house of Amouage again. This is another Extrait, and this is Gold Woman Extrait. This is one I'd been trying the men's. It was one I wanted to check out because I knew it was going to be like a powdery, slightly aromatic smell. And so I was lucky enough to find these two Extraits, the Amouage Woman and the Gold Woman. And like I said, they're hard to come across because they don't even have a Amouage retailer, even though they're in the same basically league, the GCC, the Gulf states. But there are no Amouage retailers here. But I was able to find both of these, luckily, and get them for really good prices. The next fragrance that I picked up is from the house of Di Ser, the Japanese brand, and this is Ademeku. So this is one I'm looking forward to wear in the summertime. This is my first one from the house. Not that they're super critically acclaimed, but some people, you know, in the know have been talking about it. I talked about it briefly on one of my videos where I was testing some of the other ones. I didn't find any other ones that I necessarily wanted to purchase in the future, but we'll see. But for right now, I'm just going to be checking out Ademeku. The next fragrance is from the house of Yves Saint Laurent, and this is Opium Eau de Parfum. This one I was trying to track down a vintage bottle of it, but I hadn't really smelled it before. So, and the guy here is charging not too bad of prices for it, but it was something that I wasn't too familiar with, so I decided to see if I could find the latest version in the EDP for a decent price, because I heard the EDP, the newer version, is closer to what the original was, because most of the vintage ones are like eau de toilette. They're supposed to be really strong. Moving on. Next up is from the house of Chanel, and this one is Cuir de Russie, and this is the Parfum version. I really like this one. I mean, I like the scent as it is. I have the eau de toilette in a 75 ml, but most of these tend to sell out, and I was able to find a 15 ml, and so I just picked it up just on a whim. So that's another one I picked up. The next one is another MDCI Parfums, and this one is Rose de Siwa in the 75 ml without the bust. Go ahead and take it out. This one is just like a fun rose, slightly rose scent. It's a woody floral musk scent, but like I said, and when I mentioned it in my rose video, that the spot where I got this from was doing a 50% off sale, so that's pretty much the main reason why I picked it up. The next fragrance is from Rochas, and this is Rochas Femme. This is a splash bottle eau de parfum, like discontinued format eau de parfum concentration. And this bottle is said to be from 1980. So glad I picked up on this. It's way deeper and richer than the eau de toilette that I have. So I'm happy to have picked this up and had a chance to enjoy it. Next up are two from Stephane Humbert Lucas. The first one is O'Hara. I got this particular one, O'Hara. I got this one off of eBay from a guy. I don't know if he's based out of Dubai or Oman, but I was able to get this one. Happy to have picked it up. This is just a super like quintessential. It's different than some of the other ones, even though they do have some similarities to other ambers. It's just a deep resinous amber labdanum type of scent. So I'm glad to finally have it in the collection. The next one is one I had to order online as well. I was mad that I missed out on getting it locally. It was sold out, and this is Khol de Bahrein. This one is Khol de Bahrein. All right, and this one is like a iris powdery type of scent. Khol again is supposed to come from the black eyeliner that they've been using since Egyptian times. So just happy to have this one in my collection. It was one that I enjoyed. Moving on. Next up is a fragrance that I just talked about in one of my most recent videos, and this is again from the house of MDCI, and this one is Chypre Palatin, one of my all-time favorite fragrances. This one I got in the Silk Road edition, so I got this one in. Was able to get it open, get some air into it, as they say. See, with both of the colors, this one is a little bit lighter than the one that I have, but the smell is exactly the same. But we'll see if it gets darker over time. That's one I wanted to mention, even though I've talked about it. That's one of my most recent purchases. And the last fragrance that I'll mention is from the house of Lancome. This is my first one from the brand, and this is Cuir de Lancome. So this is a fragrance that I randomly came across in one of the many spots that I go to try to pick up fragrances, discontinued fragrances. This is actually one I got my Silver Stem Dior Homme from, and this is just again a sweet powdery but leathery type of scent. What I like about this one is different from Cuir Cavalier is that the leather in it is like a birch type of leather, similar to a leather that you would find in Cuir de Russie, but like less animalic, more like feminine leading and powdery. So that's it. I'm not sure how many fragrances that was. I believe it's in the teens. So those are the fragrances that I picked up so far just in the first quarter of this year. So now I'm trying to put a halt on it. I do have a couple fragrances on the way. So when and if I do get those fragrances, I'll talk about them. But between now and then, again, I'm still, trying to get rid of some bottles, and then just trying to wait and have some patience. And hopefully when I vacation over the summertime, just try to save up some chips and hopefully pick up some gems later on. What have you picked up this year? Let me know in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace.